Welcome to Intuitive Seek. My name is Mary Train, and as an intuitive guide, energy healer, and meditation teacher, I aim to bring you a grounded approach to all things energy and intuition. Everything I share is with the hope to help you remember how your unique power of intuition is your own greatest teacher. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to your intuitive week, your energy update for the week of January 19th. How are you? How has January been treating you so far? Has there been any twists and turns? And what is this week feeling like for you? Depending on when you are listening to this, I am back to Insight Timer. I took a bit of a break because I was moving and so many things were happening, but I am back on Thursday, January 22nd. We're going to be doing a heart glow meditation where we anchor into and expand our heart field energy. And this is, for us, of course, very helpful to our nervous system, to anchoring and grounding our vital energy and connecting to our hearts. But also, when we do a technique in a practice like this, it ripples out, it expands, it impacts the world and the people around us in ways that we can't even understand. So it does, yes, help us, but it helps the world around us too, which is very much in need. So I hope you can join us. That's on Thursday, January 22nd. Check the time on your Insight Timer. It will be different for everyone depending on where you are in the world. It will be at noon Pacific time, but make sure to check your time as well. And there is a link in the show notes that you can explore all of the other events that will be published as well. And I wanted to remind you about the 2 spaces for the key, your 4-month journey of healing and transformation. I have those spaces available in February. I am connecting with and meeting with people, and you can look in the show notes as well to apply to connect with me about that journey. It is deeply life changing. And if it is time for you to transform your life in 2026, to remember everything that you already have within you, and to receive the one on one intuitive and energetic support that you need to remember everything that is already available. Everything that you feel like you need, it's there. It's waiting for you to remember. And my intuitive and energy healing work can help you immensely. And I always love to meet everyone who is interested because, in my experience, the right person, the right time, it happens when it is meant to happen. So the only way that does happen when we allow ourselves to trust the timing is if you trust yourself and your curiosity and that intuitive pull from within. And if you have that, reach out, connect with me. You never know. This could be exactly what you need. And I'm here to support you. And just a quick reminder before I dive in these weekly updates, I go into a nice, deep meditation with the intention to receive with all of my intuitive senses anything that we, you and I, need to know, need to remember, anything that will help us move through the week with more clarity and more intention. So use these episodes as an intuitive development, as a practice. If something resonates with you, trust that it resonates, trust that it is for you. And if it doesn't, trust that as well. So take what you need and leave the rest. So when I opened up the meditation for this week, we were standing in front of a garden. The soil was fresh and there were small green sprouts. And we bent down and pulled one of the sprouts, and it pulled up very easily. And there was a carrot on the end. but then we instantly threw it to the side to be composted. We didn't need it. And then we tried another one, and it was not able to be pulled out. It was still growing. And this felt like a message that for this week, there are some things that we thought we wanted, some things that maybe we had planted, that we were waiting to grow, that we were waiting to harvest, that we were waiting to come true. But for us, for some of us, there may be something like that we let go of this week. The carrot felt like a symbol of the shiny carrot, of that idea of chasing something that doesn't do anything for us, that is not actually adding anything to our lives, that it is all part of a facade. The thing that we thought would give us what we desired. Maybe we set intentions or goals, put it on a manifestation list, or tried to call in. And that this week, we will realize that something was not anchored in our true selves, in our true path, that it was the shiny carrot kind of goal, something that would make us look or seem more valuable to others because we weren't trusting in our innate value. We were trying to create things outside of us to hold the value that we weren't ready to hold for ourselves. The misguided ego, which feels good because that means the rooted, aligned intentions and goals that we have planted, our dreams and desires that are really rooted in ourselves and our truth, that they will have more space to grow. So, what have you outgrown? What dream or desire is not for you anymore? What is the shiny carrot? What did you put value on, outsourcing your value? Maybe you didn't realize it at the time, but now you can see, oh, that was the shiny carrot that I was wanting. That wasn't something for me. That was for others. And because of the rooted detail, it does also feel like guidance to, for some of us, make sure that we tend to our first energy center, that first base chakra, our root. That this week, paying attention to where we're feeling insecurity or unsafe, especially in money matters, that how can we bring our energy down and ground it to feel more open and rooted, to feel that security from within, even when the world around us is not showing up that way? How can we feel it for ourselves? And I'll link my root healing meditation in the show notes if this resonates for you. That could be very supportive. And if you're listening to this on Monday, we had a new moon yesterday, the first one of 2026 in Capricorn. And that is a very grounded, serious, focused, secure energy. But it can also kind of highlight where we're not feeling that way. And we are still in that energy. And the new moon energy, the new moon cycle, this beautiful, supportive energy to grow, to plant seeds, to really connect to our intentions and our desires. So, do you know what you desire to create, to call in? What intentions are at the root of what you are focusing on? This week, you might see how you have changed and that you need more room for your dreams and your goals that you are meant to walk towards this year and that are coming towards you. And that's why it's time to release and recycle and compost the shiny carrot desires and dreams and intentions from before, because we need more room. Because the big ones, the rooted, the true intentions and goals that are aligned with ourselves and our path, those need much more room because they're big. So, what dream or goal do you feel does need more room, more focus, more space? And allow yourself to change, to shift, because you have changed. And how are you digesting the changes? Have you allowed yourself to be aware of them? Or have you just kind of kept moving? Are you holding on tight, maybe too tight to who you were or who you were when you thought you wanted A, B, and C? Like, what do you need to allow yourself to be who you are today? What do you need in the present? And then the next thing that came through in the meditation was a big spotlight on our throat energy center, the fifth center. And the spotlight felt like, okay, for some of us, our voice, our throat needs our attention, the energy center around it, right above our heart. In the meditation, it did feel ancestral, that some of us could be clearing some old energy from our throats that is not ours to carry. Maybe a new clarity around your voice in this lifetime that has perhaps been like diluted or even muted by your family's history. What has been holding your true, authentic voice back? What fear of speaking has been holding you back? How can you tend to your authentic voice? I do actually have a Meet Your Ancestors meditation because this has been a huge part of my healing journey, of my intuitive journey. And I started with this type of meditation journeying on my own in 2018. And the meditation that I offer is similar to what I journeyed on my own. So if that does feel a little interesting to you, if you feel a pull, this would be a good place to start to help you remember what is yours in this lifetime and what you may be carrying from your family that you are meant to break open, unleash, release yourself from, finally give yourself permission for. How does your voice in your throat, in that energy inside and around, how is it trying to get your attention? Because physically, maybe you are having a sore throat, or your neck is feeling a bit of discomfort, or your jaw. Ear pain or discomfort can also be a sign. Even canker sores or cold sores. These can be very energetically and spiritually linked to your throat energy needing your attention. Maybe you need to say something, stand up for yourself, maybe for others. What fear is in the way of you doing that? And is it yours? What is holding you back from speaking? This week, this week could really offer you some insight, and maybe it's time to begin on clearing and reclaiming. So you can even take a few moments, bring all of your awareness to your throat. Maybe take your left hand and kind of hold it a few inches outside of your throat so you can really feel into your energy field and allow yourself to receive. Even saying, what do I need to know? What do I need? And see what comes. It might be a word, it might be a color, it might be a symbol or a memory. Just pay attention. But this could be a big focus that needs your attention this week. And that's why this week feels like a new clarity will be reached, and that we have been wanting this kind of clarity for a while now. But are we brave enough to see it? Committing to our vision means allowing change, being flexible, staying open to redirection, maybe even quickly. This comes down to trust. Where are you not trusting yourself? Maybe other people, the universe. The world right now is showing us, again, what horrible things can happen when we start to harbor and lean into distrust. Look at what's happening in the United States right now. The human rights violations being allowed because of don't trust your neighbors, blaming the other, the violence and the discrimination and the hatred and the indifference. A lot of that comes from distrust and fear. So, how can you trust and release the fear or move past any fear? Where's the bravery? Where's the courage? Using your voice, even if you're afraid. I had a dream last month where I was repeating the Latin phrase, omnia unus est. Omnia unus est. And I was repeating it over and over and over again. And I can still see it in my mind's eye. It was very vivid. And this is Latin for all things are one. And it was such a significant dream because it is very easy to ignore that. But pay attention to when you don't feel or believe this. And I feel like I'm bringing this up because intuitive development, spirituality, even if Instagram is telling you it's not just about you, it's not individualistic. It helps us realize that we are all connected, not just to each other, but to the whole world and to the universe, to the unseen and the seen. It lets us see more clearly the impact of our thoughts and our words and our action, the impact that they have. It reminds us of our responsibility. That omnia unus est, over and over again. Remind yourself, all things are one. And where am I being told that they are not? It reminds me of that tech advice where if something isn't working, most often the first thing that does work is turn it off and then turn it on again. And maybe that's what's happening in the world right now. The deep disconnection from each other is allowing us to remember how to reconnect and turn on again. So this week, remember that phrase, omnia unus est, all things are one. And how can you lean in to this kind of universal truth? And I know that it is because of the evidence of the energy work. I know that it is because of the evidence of the intuitive work. I have seen over and over again that all things are one, are connected. And how can you remember that and allow your actions to show that this week? I would love to hear. I would love to hear. Let's all do it together in so many ways. And yeah, I didn't know I was going to bring up that dream, but have you ever spoken Latin in your dream? I would love to hear. Maybe even that same phrase. That would be very cool. But yes, let me know. Let me know. And sending so much strength and love to all of the injustice and the suffering and the dehumanization and the disregard for human rights that we are seeing. But if you look at the world, it's happening. It has happened. But there is a way out. And it's being aware and using your voice and staying open. And courage. Don't forget about courage. Okay, and back to the meditation for this week ahead. What is the animal? What is the animal that can inspire and guide us for this week? And the animal that came through in the meditation, I will be honest, I actually tuned in 2 more times because I wasn't trusting that this was the animal. Isn't that so funny? For some reason, my mind didn't think that this was the animal. But when it came up the third time, I thought, wait, why am I even second guessing this? Isn't this all about trust? Did I not learn anything from what was coming through in the beginning of the meditation? So my human really got involved in what was happening with the animal, but luckily moved it aside and trusted that this was the animal that we needed. But after looking into this animal again and reminding myself about what the symbolism and what the energy represents, of course it was this animal. And it was just a really good exercise for me to realize, wait, why am I doubting what is coming through? Because it's not the one that my mind wants it to be. Talk about the shiny carrot. Like I got a real lesson in the meditation already. So the animal of this week does connect to the carrot a little bit. It is the rabbit. The rabbit. And maybe you can see, oh, that's an interesting animal. Not the most powerful that you would think of. But no, the animal, the rabbit for this week is very much connected to everything else that came through in the meditation. So the rabbit represents the energy of overcoming fear, fertility, new beginnings, preparation, trust, root chakra healing, setting boundaries, community support, sensitivity, intuitive gifts, creative expression, abundance, luck through instincts, personal revelation, and listening to our inner child. And this excerpt from Animal Speak by Ted Andrews did pop out, so let me share this, offering a bit more insight that could resonate with you and offer what you need to remember for this week to focus on. Although some associate fear with the rabbit, it has wonderful abilities for defense. Rabbits often create forms to use for hiding and resting. To create a form, the rabbit scratches a shallow bowl into the earth or grass that is open in the front and in the back to enable it to escape if necessary. If a rabbit has shown up, it may indicate a need to do some more planning or check those you have already set in motion. You do not want to box yourself into a corner. Rabbits have a knack for avoiding being seen. They can freeze, hold perfectly still. They know that movement can be detected from great distances by many predators. If you are involved in competition, in work or in play, it will be important not to foreshadow your moves. Rabbits are also clever at doubling back, making quick and rapid turns. If they need to flee, they can be extremely fast. Learning to shift from freezing to great speed is something to learn. It will aid your success and enable you to take advantage of opportunities that may only present themselves for brief moments. Rabbits can show you how to recognize the signs all around you. It can help you to attune to the lunar cycle and recognize the tides of movement within your life. This in turn will enable you to become even more fertile in your life. So, how does the rabbit's energy in symbolism inspire you? How is it maybe validating or affirming something that you were thinking of? How is it helping you trust yourself more? All right. So, yes, this is a week of trusting, of finding where you're not trusting, of tending to your root and to your voice, of clarifying your intentions, knowing what is that shiny carrot that needs to go so you have more room to grow. And here are a few writing prompts. They can be used as journal prompts, or you can answer them in a voice note, or just in a way to start to think about something, kind of muse to yourself when you're on a walk. But answer one or none, really trust what resonates with you. So the first question could be, what dream or desire is actually a shiny carrot that you need to let go of to make room for your true aligned intentions. And number two, where do you need more trust in your life and why? And number three, how has your voice been muted or diluted by your family history? And how can you begin to reclaim your voice today? And thank you so much for listening to this episode of Intuitive Seek. Remember, omnia unus est, all things are one. And if that does resonate with you, you can use it as a bit of a mantra or an affirmation and just kind of keep saying it and see how you feel, see how your energy shifts. It's quite a powerful phrase. And as always, I would love to hear if you resonated with any of the energy that I'm feeling and that we're moving through for the week of January 19th. Send me any thoughts or questions. Go to the show notes and you'll see all the ways to connect. You can connect through the website, treenlight.com, or through my Instagram at treenlight, and my Substack, where I add a energetic snapshot, little notes from this episode that partners with the full podcast. So yes, follow me there, subscribe. And if you feel called to give some support, then you could share this episode with a friend or you could leave a review. That is incredibly helpful. So thank you so much again. Be kind to yourself and each other. And I will talk to you next week.
Hi, Auntie Mary. I just wanted to say something very, very mean.